This isn't a hate video, it's all personal opinion, and this time you guys will likely see my perspective since some of these mods are just genuinely weird. So again, like I said, I don't hate any of these mods, I just think they're weird is all. So here are 4 car mods I literally don't understand, but you do you, I guess. Rusty vinyl wraps. Now the common defense I see for this is it's anti-theft. Maybe? You know, that seems a bit too expensive for something that isn't even a surefire deterrent. Wrapping a car can cost a few thousand, even several thousand, depending on what car you're doing. This can also accomplish the opposite because some thieves actually purposely go for crappier looking cars because they just want the internals. That's what they care about. They usually part out the cars that they steal and take them to chop shop so it's harder to identify and trace because they'll be all in pieces. Because of that, they don't care what the outside looks like, and the outside being poorly taken care of is usually a sign of a car that is easier to steal because it usually has less security measures on it. More so, I made this entry for the supercar owners who do it because again, like I said, who are they trying to fool? We all know it still has fiberglass and carbon fiber panels, and those can't rust to begin with, and even then, if someone truly did believe it was metal, when they walk up close enough to it, they will see the fact that it doesn't have the correct transitions between bumpers. So this is clearly something that people do just because they actually enjoy the aesthetic. So if you really are doing this as an anti-theft deterrent, my suggestion instead is to actually just get a rusty car cover. Combining cars. So this is a trend when people turn literally anything into anything else by just shoving 2 cars or even more cars together. A very common theme is when you see those, when everyone tries to turn something into like half truck, half whatever, and they just weld whatever of the truck back onto any other car, or the opposite where they weld the back of some other car onto a truck. You also have those people who create those limousine Frankenstein combinations where they just freaking chop and just take all these cars and just stretch the chassis and kind of back onto the truck one. You have the one where people even do custom ones, so instead of just taking a random flatbed, they'll get like a custom outfitted, custom measured flatbed, like almost like a ute, especially when people do this to muscle cars, and it's really meticulously measured and it fits pretty nicely. And oh, okay, the longer I look at this one, this is actually cool. This is actually really effing cool. You have a ute, I fully understand it. People are even turning older Mercedes into utes. This is cool. This one gets the pass from me, alright? But now, there's a lot more to this. So as you can tell, there are varying degrees of weirdness to the mods in this video and even to the individual entries in this video. If done correctly, I think some of these car combinations look pretty cool, especially if the panels and the actual seam lines and the gaps merge together in a more seamless design, almost like it looks like it's OEM. And this isn't just something that only broke boys do. A lot of people with more money also do this. For example, some dude literally took OEM Lamborghini Huracan bumpers, which I'm pretty sure are like 11 grand a piece, if not more, and outfitted them to his Nissan Fairlady. From the back and other certain angles, it does look pretty sick. From the front, it's okay-ish, but when it's the side profile, you do kind of see the wonkiness of how weirdly the angle of the front bumper meets the hood and fenders. And that's just the reality you have to expect when you do this. Even the best of the best can still have a few wonkiness, and you even have professional companies that do this. For example, there are modern muscle conversions of retro muscle. So you have like modern muscle / pony cars like Dodge Challengers or Chevy Camaros where you can convert them into like Plymouth Superbirds or Pontiac Trans Ams, but like a modern day reimagination of like a Superbird or Trans Am. I'll put them up on screen so you know what I'm talking about. I actually have a friend in real life who has a classic Trans Am from the Smokey and Bandit movies. You know what I mean? Not the exact one from the movies, but the spec is what I'm talking about. And he has a kit for a Camaro that also has that conversion. And after having seen it in person, I can still confirm it's still very weird looking. It didn't really grow on me. It doesn't look bad on me. It just is what it is. Lights everywhere. Yo dog, I heard you like light bars, so I put some light bars on your light bars. And they kept going, in fact, because there's light bars on those light bars, which have more light bars on those light bars, and you get the point of this. Anyways, so some people really like lights in the automotive community. I personally don't really care. I do have one weakness. I like sequential lights, so much so that I sacrificed transmission vent cooling for it, then immediately regretted it because I remembered I moved down south now and started overheating, so I had to convert back to my stock tail lights. But other than that, I don't really like other lights, I guess. I just don't really care. Like legitimately, it's a matter of I just don't really care. I don't think they look cool. I've seen it millions of times in person at this point probably, and it just doesn't really appeal to me. I know some people who like to buy orange or blue lights in their exhaust tip, and though some of which are even my friends, never mind how dangerous it is to put wires near hot exhaust, but their reasoning is like, oh, well, it makes it look like the car at nighttime is like shooting constant orange or blue flames. Now, of course, my solution is to just shoot actual flames, and so I don't need to do this whole poser mimicky stuff. As for underglow, I'm actually okay with that. If you want to just do underglow, I think it's fine. Have those like LED rainbow lights that like change all these different colors and make your headlights around, Again, this absolutely lives up to the title of this video. I literally do not understand why lights are as popular as they are, but you do you, I guess. If by Lord Almighty, if you just want to drive on the road and look like a mobile circus, go for it. Excessive stance. It's one thing to be on air, but it's another to have over -20 degrees of static camber, sparking everywhere you go, scraping every leaf, and replacing a splitter every single month. Truth be told, I actually don't have a problem with stance, even excessive amounts of it. It's just grown on me. It's not something I would ever do, but I see it so much in Atlanta now. I've finally just come to accept these guys are just going to show up at car shows, and that's just how it's going to be. What I do have a problem with is it's usually the attitude of the owners. I gotta say this, alright? Gatekeeping amongst this. By the way, this isn't me hating the owners. If anything, it's me siding with the newbies. So before you misunderstand, listen before you comment on this part, alright? Listen to me beginning to end, because this is the final entry you can sit through before you comment for this one. Just listen. Gatekeeping is really strong amongst the stance boys. Static owners especially will always say stuff like, static life or air is for fitment is king, and then they will bully other stance owners for not having enough stance or not being low enough, and heaven forbid you have air, because then they're gonna call you an evil rich 1%er who can just use the power of money to fix fitment instantly, and that you're a scared wimp who can't handle being static. Alright, so here's what your midlife crisis car enthusiast Corvette owner has to say about this. Me kicking the door down, being the freaking boomer that I am. I'm not a boomer, I'm actually, you know what I mean, who cares? I've been a gatekeeping moron in the past myself. So from one former gatekeeper to the current gatekeepers, here's the reality of the situation. Stance is already such a hated community, filled with so few members. So what are you trying to accomplish by destroying it from within and trying to gatekeep newbies who actually want to be part of your community? Some of these kids are just starting off. They have jobs that they have to go to, classes to attend, bills and loans to pay because they still want some ground clearance. Not everyone has the money to buy a second car, like a daily driver, and then build another show car to be an undrivable mess. Tons of tire tread wear expenses, tons of suspension damage, tons of bumper replacements, splitter replacements, and curb damaged wheels, and so on and so forth. Like, the reality is, and I know because I have friends who have extremely slammed cars, and they spend a lot of money just even taking those cars out on the weekend, but they usually don't care because A, they have another car, B, they have a decently paying job, or C, they don't have a decently paying job and I'm gonna fire some shots and they just don't have any savings account because they're just really bad with money, frankly. Like, so for all the starter stance boys out there, I got you. I'm here for you, man. I feel for y'all in your struggle, because F that overt gatekeeping BS, alright? If they don't want to consider you part of their community, you're still a car enthusiast, alright? You can still come to car meets, show up, we'll still be okay with you. We ain't gonna ridicule you, because a little bit of stance, it looks clean. And even if you do have an excessive amount, just stop being a douchebag about it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you had some fun. Thanks for watching, and if you love cars and car content, make sure to subscribe. If you haven't kept up with my vlogs and other weeb stuff I've been doing, make sure to check those out right now. Other than that, see y'all next time. Bladed Angel out.